This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on this Thursday. That's the plan. Tito, Bobby Carpenter, Bodie Wells on quite the streak of all three of us being here. Not exactly Ripken-esque, but we're getting there. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Jeffrey.
Look at that enthusiasm.
I got to fake it. I'm a little tired because I was up late last night pounding, I would say keyboard, with my phone. Just with all of the portal outrage over the portal combat and everything that's going on at Ohio State. And people are mad why Ohio State isn't re-signing all of their players and signing every other great player, too.
Well, surprised by that, too, Bob. Got to tell you. I mean, I can't believe they couldn't keep Caleb Downs and Cardinal Tate around for another year.
I'm like, the guys that were leaving, everybody knew that were going to leave.
Right,
like,
yeah.
We openly acknowledged that before the season. Now, there's a couple other, like Arvell Reese, who hasn't announced he's leaving yet, but most likely will. Caden McDonald hasn't announced, but most likely will. So those guys who, if any of those guys come back, they're going to require a hefty sum to stay.
Right.
And then there's guys out there that they're maybe competing for. But here's the reality in this revenue sharing era. I mean, everybody's got a lot of money. And if someone's willing to pay your fourth guy like their first guy,
right,
you're not going to be able to keep them. That's just how it works.
Sure.
And by the way, everybody acts like Ohio State has this endless bucket of cash. I go, show me who the billionaire donor is. And people point at the shot and see, I'm like, that's not real. Like, there's a bunch of people within the branches of that tree. Some care about sports more than others. But the thought, I'm talking schools going to one person saying, hey, we need this. Mark Cuban, boom, here you go. Here's $10 million.
Right.
I don't care what happens with it. Go win games.
Yeah.
Tell me who you're getting. Texas Tech, Oregon. Hell, Michigan State's got all that. There isn't that for Ohio State.
So, and you see both sides of it as far as being presented on. I'm not saying they're the correct sides, but you see the different angles of how people view this.
Oh, I understand people that view it without knowing, thinking that there's this endless pot of cash because it's Ohio State, and they're like, we need the boosters to step up. I'm like, it's easy to spend someone else's money. It's not yours, because I know a lot of the guys that give, and like they're wealthy, but they're not wealthy to the tune of 9 figures, 10 figures wealthy. Well, maybe some of them maybe 9. Yeah, but that's still like, if you're worth $100 million, you cannot afford to give $10 million a year.
Sure. Sure.
That's like how much you're worth. That's not how much you have sitting in a bank account that you can just spend on whatever.
So when people put out there, these people, you people, when they put out, God, Ohio State's in such bad financial straits. They're poor. People don't realize how. And other people say,
no one says they're poor. People say Ross and Mark Pantoni are holding the money back.
Okay.
Or like not spending it well or trying to, quote, moneyball it. And I'm like, wait, but last year everybody said that we had the highest paid roster in college football. So which is it?
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But
those two things can't coexist.
Is there a way for Joe Q Public to know the answers to that?
I don't want to know the answers. I've told people the answers.
You want answers.
I look at Bobby. If just somebody's out there putting the stuff out there on Twitter,
do
they have the access to go and look and say this?
There is no access. I mean, you just have to talk to people who know and be around everything. It's one thing going to the aquarium and looking inside. It's another thing being inside the aquarium. Like I get to go
both sides of that.
Jump in that gorilla exhibit. See what happens.
I'm like, I don't live in there. There's all those guys living there, but I get to visit it and go inside of it a little bit, so I get to see what's going on. And frankly, a lot of it's just once you start figuring out how it works and who's involved. And listen, I've been around the program for 20 years. You see what the constraints are. You see what the positives are, what the benefits are, and you try to balance those and understand the difference.
And then the other news that came out yesterday, and some people thought this was a sign of.
You mean you people?
Yeah, you people. Not you people, other people. Let's do it that way. The fact that Ohio State is exploring selling patches, a sponsored patch on their jersey.
That's the other thing. People are getting mad. They're like, we need to pay these guys more. Right. I don't want patches on the jersey. I'm like, that's what the money's for.
Bob, I saw, and I know, but I saw it there. Somebody said, well, you know what? This is not the game I grew up loving, and I'm paraphrasing here.
Those things can all be true. I'm not saying it's not.
The individual also then said, I would much rather go 8-4 and not do things like this. They do the sponsor, the thing on the jersey.
Of course.
And go 12.
Remember when you went 10-2 and lost to Michigan, and you wanted to
fire Ryan,
drag Ryan behind a chariot like Mussolini through Rome?
I don't recall it getting that quite extreme, but yes, I do.
I don't know. I mean, Coach, when you're talking trash to the people's kids, telling them to move, and I hope your dad dies, it sounds like it might be on par with it. Maybe they didn't articulate the manner of which it would happen, but I mean, for heaven's sake, what are we talking about?
I never got to see all the evil things said of Mussolini on Twitter, but it's possible though, Bob. I'm not saying it's not possible.
I'm just reading this book right now. Oh gosh, I can't think of what the name of it is. They made a Netflix series of it.
I've done a book about how to improve your
It's
memory.
it's about World War II.
Okay.
And The Liberator. And it's the group of, it's kind of like Band of Brothers, but they went through Italy.
Right.
And so they were talking about the Italians and how much they hated Mussolini and different things. And so that's why that's top of mind and conscious right now.
I call it Mussolini. That part was not correct. It's Mussolini.
Mussolini.
Yeah. I can read the stuff. I just can't say it usually. Anyway, big show line for you. 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, HD3. Download
so big
the show.
You'll need to stand.
But, Bob, this is what, day 2? Day 3? 2.5.
Either way.
Anyway, download the show anytime and catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Albert Breer joins us today at 7:05. Ya Highness NFL picks coming up around 7:25. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin. So we got a big show lineup for you today. Miami and Ole Miss play tonight at 7:30. Tomorrow, Indiana, Oregon. I'm sorry. I thought we said something. Maybe not.
No, I said, ooh.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Jackets in Vegas tonight at 10 o'clock. NCAA basketball, Ohio State's at Oregon at 10 o'clock tonight.
10:30.
10:30 tonight.
Gosh.
That's what the screen says.
I may walk in here tomorrow. Reimer might be still sitting over there.
That's a good point. Let's hope for a long game.
Couple overtime.
Yes. Reimer would love that, though. That should be good for him. If it ends too soon.
The fact that there's a thought that an Ohio State basketball game would get over after a college football semifinal, that's wild.
By a long shot. Yeah.
By a long shot.
Yeah. Cavs at Minnesota tonight at 8 o'clock. Trey Young traded to Washington. We talked about that earlier in the week. Unexpectedly talked about it, but we did talk about it. NCAA women, number 19 OSU defeats Illinois 78-69. And, Bob, it's the unenviable task you have. Make me smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Good morning, General.
Good morning. On this Thursday, January 8th, the 8th day of the year, 357 days remaining in this 2026. This date, 1790, George Washington delivers his first State of the Union address. Do you have any idea what city that was delivered in?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Newark, Ohio. I don't know where it was. I don't know.
Well, you were close.
New Jersey?
New York.
New York.
I thought you just had a stroke over there.
Wouldn't even surprise. The look on your face when I first started to say it
you
was
said
priceless.
new, I'm like, he might actually get this.
Tito's got this one.
That was the capital, but prior to the construction of D.C. This day, 1815, the Battle of New Orleans, and during the War of 1812. Andrew Jackson, our 7th president, not yet president, leads the United States over the British in a big decisive victory. Back in 1835, so it's amazing, we are 9 years away from 200 years to that moment. The United States debt was zero for the first and last time in our history. Andrew Jackson, they had like a big dinner. He was like excited and celebrated that they paid down all their debts and everything.
A little ways away from that, I think.
Little ways.
Where are we at?
I don't know.
In the trillions, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the three. I think
some NIL boosters.
I would say put the patches on our jerseys. I bet we can get that thing paid off real quick.
There you go. This date, 1918, Mississippi becomes the first state to ratify the 18th Amendment. And in 1956, Elvis Presley's Don't Be Cruel and Hound Dog hit #1 for 11 weeks.
If you can't come around, at least please tell the phone. Don't be cruel. Your heart is true.
I don't want no other love. Baby,
I saw this where Elvis is like Hawaii, his comeback thing.
Yeah.
You know how many people watch that?
It was insane. It was insane.
1.5 billion.
Yeah, aloha from Hawaii.
Yes. And they're talking
Yeah.
about like Taylor Swift, like the area is like 400 some million. This
It
Lady
might be
Gaga.
like the first satellite, the first one, right? Transmitted via worldwide.
Yeah, 1.5 billion. And that
amazing.
was in like
Was it a concert?
Yeah.
Or- okay.
73?
Yeah, 73. I mean, there may have only been like 3 billion people on
I
the
was going to
earth.
say,
then.
Yeah.
that doesn't even seem possible.
It's incredible.
Hey, man.
Incredible show, too.
They called him the king for a reason. He had a pretty little thing waiting for him down in the jungle room, I heard. This date, 1962, Jack Nicklaus, at the age of 21, makes his first pro appearance, finishing 50th. 1964, I Want to Hold Your Hand is released by the Beatles.
I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
And when you touch me, I feel happy inside.
I feel pretty good on the outside, too, but I'm not going to lie to you.
That's right. 1982, the Bell telephone system is broken up by the U.S. government as AT&T agrees to divest all 20 of the different Bell divisions.
Isn't it amazing, Bob, that we used to pay for long distance calls?
Oh, yeah. They
You
would have
know?
them like all isolated, but you probably don't remember this. We had like
No, I do not.
Ohio Bell
Yeah.
was our servicing provider. And like if you wanted to call from even like Lancaster to Columbus, it was
Yeah.
long distance.
Yeah, you get charged per minute on things like that. And
It's
then
wild.
there's these big marketing things come out and say, after 7 o'clock, calls are 99 cents a minute anywhere in the continental United States.
It was wild. Yeah,
People talk a lot faster. Hey, career mission, look back.
Yeah. This date, 1993, Michael Jordan scores his 20,000th point.
And Bulls have it again. Williams across the timeline. Has it tipped, and guess where it goes? Could be it. There it is! What a way to go, Mike! And he wants out. 20,000 points in the career of Michael Jordan. Very. And the crowd, this place is going nuts. They don't care what happens. Three-pointer is good. Michael fouls him. He wants out. And a standing ovation from the crowd in Chicago. Trent Tucker gives him a big hug. Gets congratulations all around. He'll take the ball with him. Michael Jordan.
Is that hard to find, Bodie?
No, there was multiple YouTube
Really?
videos of it. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to find it or not, and it was all over.
There we go. Well done out of you, sir. And then this date, 1995, the legendary Bobcat himself, Mike Schmidt, is elected to the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame.
In preparing this speech, I thought of some lessons I learned from my baseball career. Lessons like having patience and dealing with pressure, teamwork and unselfishness. Heaven knows we have to learn to deal with failure as baseball players. Establishing that goals can only be attained through sacrifice and hard work. And an important lesson I recently learned from my young son, John. And a lot of these guys knew this throughout their careers, but I'm not sure that I ever did. That baseball can actually be played for fun.
There you go. Played for fun.
I think he's
Zero fun, sir.
Grew up in Dayton. I
he
think
a
he was
Dayton
born in
guy?
Dayton, and then, went to OU. Yeah.
Went to Ohio University. Some birthdays today, born on this date, 1935. The hound dog himself, Mr. Elvis Presley. How about for that? And some number ones on his birthday. The famed physicist and author Stephen Hawking, born on this date, 1942. David Bowie, born on this date, 1947.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
You're a David Bowie fan? I feel like he's kind of polarizing.
He was. I did not love a lot of his work, but there's some pretty good bangers.
China
yeah.
Girl?
China Girl was good. He can go back further, though. There's some other ones, like Golden Years is an underrated song by him. He did Changes.
So is a shower.
Golden Years was a pretty good song, though.
There we go. Some more birthdays. This one probably crushed Bodie. Crushed me to see him pass away. He was an executive for the Cleveland Browns for a number of years. Born on this date, 1957. Lost him, my goodness, almost, 8 years ago. Dwight Clark.
They're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight Clark! It's a mad Woodhouse at Candlestick with 51 seconds left. Dwight Clark is 6'4". He stands about 10 feet tall in this crowd's estimation.
You never know who you're going to get on the announcers when I go back and grab these clips. I was like, I had no clue Vin Scully ever did football.
Oh, he did it for a long time on CBS on NFL Sundays. He would do it a lot. For a while, it was, he had George Allen and Jim Brown in the booth with him, which is not a good booth. But Vin Scully, he did football for a long, long time. Not just a long time.
There we go.
Too long.
Sorry, getting in the chat there a little bit. Oh, goodness. Turning 59 today. Singer, songwriter, producer, sex offender.
Allegedly.
Robert Kelly. No. He's convicted.
Yeah, you're right.
I have another friend. Oh, I can't stand him. He loves telling stories. You have that for, dude, I got a story. Great. And his stories stink. They just stink. And they're boring. But he thinks they're awesome because in the story, he always says true story, like you're not believing it. And you are because they're just boring stories. I'm like, stop saying true story. You're not a Navy SEAL. Navy SEALs can say true story. Their stories are epic. Their stories like, dude, I killed 5 guys with a nickel. What? True story. This is the nickel. His story stinks. He's like, dude, I just went to Aruba. I got a story for you. I'm like, oh, this should suck. He goes, me and my wife on the beach, water's edge, sun setting. We look out at the ocean. At the last second, dolphin came up out of the water. True story. Yeah. I believe it. It's the ocean. That's their home. That's where dolphins do that kind of stuff. Did it happen in the parking lot? Did it come out of asphalt from under a Honda Civic and murder an old lady in a Lark? That's nuts. I wouldn't believe that.
Pretty good stuff right there.
You see the R. Kelly skit by Chappelle, the song?
Oh, it's amazing.
That's a great one, yeah. You got to check that out there.
Drip, drip, drip.
Yeah, drip.
My life won't be complete, so I turn your face into a toilet seat.
Yes, that's...
I mean, those are the lyrics you're looking for. Listen, Chappelle was on everything before everyone else. He was on Diddy. He was on R. Kelly. I mean, he knew about everything. He was all there.
Well, he wasn't on them. He was on to them.
On to them, yes.
Yes. Let's give with that preposition.
I never got invited to a Diddy party.
That's
I just realized it's because I'm ugly.
Right. I must be ugly.
Listen, I must be ugly. Turning at 55 today, 440 homers, 5 All-Star appearances, and the American League MVP back in 2000, Mr. Jason Giambi.
Billy, we got 38 home runs and 120 RBIs.
Guys, you're still trying to replace Giambi. I told you we can't do it, and we can't do it. Now, what we might be able to do...
His brother.
...is recreate him. Recreate him in the aggregate.
The what?
Giambi's on-base percentage was 477. Damon's on base, 324. And Almeida's was 291. Add that up and you get...
Do you want me to speak?
What point do you get?
1092.
Divided by 3.
It's 364.
That's what we're looking for.
I wish that movie was real.
Do you want me to speak?
You
What do you mean it's real?
There's too many things that comes out later on that are...
Well, there had to be some creative liberties taken. I mean, listen, nobody wants... Those meetings really aren't that exciting. So, like, you have to make them a little better. To juice them up a little bit.
I'm not going to fire you, Mark. Bleep you, Billy. Okay, now I will.
No, I will, yeah.
Jonah Hill, better in that as the reserved Peter Brand, or better as Donnie as DiCaprio's right-hand man?
Listen, Donnie is great. 29,000. The sides.
Right.
The sides.
They did cure cancer, actually. That's why they were so expensive, because they could actually cure cancer.
Oh,
you show me a check for $72,000.
Yeah.
I come work for you right now.
So his character in that is great. These are hookers.
Did you marry your cousin? Oh, yeah, technically we are cousins. Like, second cousin? Nope, first. Okay.
So good. So good. Oh, goodness. Some passings today on this date, 2002. One of the great Ohioans with his headquarters in Dublin, Mr. Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's.
My daughter Wendy said to me, Dad, I think you've got to come up with some new kind of foods. Be different. Get on the cutting edge. She may be right. So I had an idea for a special chicken sandwich.
Introducing Wendy's Chicken Cordon Bleu. A boneless breast of chicken, ham, Swiss cheese, Grey Poupon, and mayonnaise on a toasted Kaiser bun.
That looks delicious.
Hey, Dad, where are you?
In the kitchen, on a cutting edge.
Try the new Chicken Cordon Bleu sandwich at Wendy's for a limited time.
The people who invented, like, the Grey Poupon, you think they market that a little bit? That word's a weird word to ask for with your food.
The chicken cordon bleu as a sandwich sounds pretty amazing.
It is good. You ever had one?
I don't know. It's that was a long time ago.
Oh, dude, that's a good
to
sandwich.
bring that back. You get a little ham, a little chicken, a little pig. Whenever you can combine the pig and poultry, that sounds like a win to me. Some also passings today. Passing away on this date, 1997. Melvin Calvin, the famed scientist, discovered the Calvin cycle, talking about photosynthesis and light being involved. And your eyes are glazing, Thitoff.
I was thinking about the jeans. Did he have jeans too?
I think that was Calvin Klein.
Oh,
that's a before and after Melvin Calvin
jeans.
Klein.
Calvin
that's
jeans,
good for that's good for Wheel of Fortune though.
Yeah, but the guy's got two first names.
Right. Temperatures, right? Calvin, Fahrenheit.
That's Kelvin, I think. There you go. This date, 1925, Eli Whitney passed away, and the famed Galileo passing away on this date, 1642. Some holidays and observances today. How do I get a pop-up right now, for heaven's sake? It is Bubble Bath Day. It's Earth Rotation Day.
Tito.
Healthy Height, Healthy Look Day. How about that?
There you go.
Standing.
Perfect. National English Toffee Day, which I do enjoy some toffee. Oh, goodness. What else do we have in here? Snow and Tell Day at work as well, and World Typing Day. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date, Thursday, January 8th, the 8th day of the year, 357 days remaining in this 2026.
Got a number for that one there, Bode?
8, Troy Aikman.
357.
No,
coming up next, college football. We say this seems like almost every single week. At a crossroads. We'll talk about that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, everybody. This is Jeremy Birmingham Berm from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. I wanted to give you guys a little update on my Awaken 180 weight loss journey. I started this plan a little bit before the new year started, and not because I'm extra disciplined or heroic or anything like that. I just got tired of waiting for the perfect time to make a change with my own life. And now here we are, second week of January, and I'm already down more than 20 pounds. 20. While most people are still figuring out if they're actually going to start their resolution, I've got 3 weeks of progress quite literally under my belt. But here's the thing. It's not too late for you either. You could start today and still be down 20 pounds by the end of January with results like mine. That is what happens when you have a real plan. Awaken 180 gives you structure, coaching, and actual support, not just motivation that fades by week 2. So if weight loss is your goal and you haven't started yet or have already given up, there's no judgment here. Just don't wait another week. Because a few weeks from now, you could be saying what I'm saying. This is already working. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bobby, Tito, Bodie, you. You guys know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it that way. Would you guys believe that, much like Meatloaf would do anything for love, that I would do anything for content?
Thitoff, you are a fame whore.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean,
that's fair.
I don't like to use those words, but I feel like they're the most appropriate to kind of throw it out there. Like anything you can do to a shameless self-promoter.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you'll say things I think you believe deliberately aren't true, just to be a hot take king.
No, I think most things I say are true, Bob. I can't think of something where I've said and said, you know what? After they said, I really don't believe that to be true. My thoughts are my own.
I'm not debating
Okay.
debating whether they're your own.
Right.
I'm just debating of whether or not you in your heart of hearts are fully on board with all of it.
So let me tell you why this
suck as a salesman.
could be great content.
Sell me this pen.
All right. I'm at home yesterday and juggling multiple things.
Sure, watching a 1977 NFL playoff game on YouTube.
Dan Patrick show.
Trying to work a little bit.
He'll be on in the
Dan
background.
Patrick.
He'll be on in the background.
Why
And
would I need to have the TV on with the radio playing?
I like to party.
And all of a sudden, I get kicked out of our company email program.
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
Here. And the Teams program.
Doesn't sound all bad.
Well,
sounds great.
Actually, it gets better because I go to log back in, and it says not a recognized user.
Oh.
And now I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? You know, because I've got PTSD from the last time.
You've been checking your direct deposit? How long have you been working that you haven't been getting paid?
So I look at it, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. And I had to talk to Fish about something else, so I called Fish, and no answer. He texted me, hey, I'm in a meeting. I'm in a meeting till 4:30. I'll call you back. I said, okay, no problem.
The number you called has been disconnected.
Right. And then I reach out to Scotty Vegas because I said, hey, you still in the office? Are we having email problems? And he said, no, we're not. And he said, let me try to send you an email. He sent me one, and it bounced back to him, said, not an authorized email.
Makes sense.
So now all of a sudden, I'm there, not an authorized email, can't get into Teams, and
I'm curious why you want to get into those things. I mean, that's kind of like you were given the golden parachute right there.
They could block me right now, and I'd thank them.
Block you is one thing, but then I started thinking, is there something going on around here that I need to know about? And then I get, after about an hour, I get an email or a message from, I sent one to Greg, and Greg sent it to somebody else, sent it to me. He said, sorry, you were accidentally deleted, but you're back in there now. It'll be about an hour or so.
It's a good thing they're not running the electric chair.
And so I started wondering then, I talked to Fish, and I told Fish about it. I said, this is like a practical joke or something. I said, it sounds like something Common Man would do just to be funny. And he said, oh, no, I don't know what that is. And I said, well, my key card works tomorrow. So here's why I'm saying it could be a content thing. If I do get fired, in fact, today after this show, this will be funny that I'm bringing it up now. It'd be content. It'd be funny.
You?
Not funny, ha.
I was going to say for who?
Not for you. It'd be a little less more said ironic if that happened.
I think it's fair.
So, anyway, I just want you guys to know, if it happens, I've enjoyed working with you.
I'm back at you, Tito.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Let's talk about another guy who's not getting fired but's trying to quit. Damon Williams Jr. for Washington, the quarterback. He had a great year last year for Washington, and then signed a contract to return to Washington on January 2nd.
With Washington as part of the revenue share stuff. This isn't an NIL contract. There's
You're right.
two separate buckets here. That's with the school as part of their revenue sharing plan. And it was a fairly substantial amount of money from what I understand, because they wanted to keep him and they didn't want to have to go in the portal to get a QB.
And like I said, he had a good year last year. Good year last
If
year.
he had a great year, I would lean more toward the GOOD good, but
3,065 yards passing, 25 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Ran for 611, 6 touchdowns. Yeah, that's fine.
Won 9 games.
What's that?
Won 9
Yep.
games.
Now,
Washington, that's good.
Before Washington, he was committed to Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Back in 2023, before he flipped to Jed Fish in Arizona, and then followed Fish to Washington when Fish got the head coaching job there. The other Fish, F-I-S-C-H, not F-I-S-H. Okay. So.
Like the other white meat?
Yes. I'm not. Anyway, so he signed that deal January 2nd, and then the other day says, I'm entering the transfer portal. Washington's ticked off about it, worried about tampering and things like that. Looks like LSU has put together a healthy offer with Lane Kiffin as well. And now this is where you get to the point, Bob, where it's, can Washington, they're going to try to pursue legal action, I guess.
Because he broke his contract.
Because he's breaking his contract. And on the flip side of it, Bob, if you're Washington, if he doesn't want to be there, do you want him there?
Yeah, that's part of the conversation is if somebody wants to leave, do you really want them to stay? Now, are they a hostage? At some positions, I think you'd be fine. At quarterback, that's a little tough because that guy's kind of the leader of the offense / team. And you want them to be bought in. However, I don't know anybody that would purposely go out there and sabotage things and sabotage their own future and career for thoughts of being able to play and move forward. But are they going to be all in? I don't know. But at some point, there have to be ramifications. And he signed a contract. If there's teeth in that contract that they can claw back and things that can happen,
right?
Well, that's part of becoming an adult. Is learning when you put your name on something.
Sure.
In the United States of America, under the guise of our legal system, that means something, and you got to figure that out.
So, on the CSPN story, one veteran head coach in college football said that I don't even know who we turn complaints into.
The state court.
That I'm saying, there's no.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's the part that's going to be interesting about this, Bob, because all these contracts that people sign for NIL or for revenue share, whatever it is, they all have different wording in them. It's not like a standard contract.
They're very one-sided, a lot of the NIL stuff. Now, these revenue sharing contracts, I haven't had a chance to look at any of those yet.
Right.
And I think there might be a little more teeth in those because those are with the school. As opposed to the NIL deals that they're with third-party agencies and different things. This is legitimately with the school. And the University of Washington, they're a fairly large institution.
Right.
I guarantee you Ohio State has 36 corporate in-house attorneys. I'm guessing Washington probably has at least 20. So they've got people that can look at this.
ESPN, according to the article I'm reading this about, they got some details from his Washington contract. And this is what it says. The deal includes a buyout to leave that is at the sole discretion of Washington.
There you go.
The one-sided thing.
He signed it. Usually they're one-sided to the player. That's one-sided to the university.
The contract also states that the institution is not obligated to enter the student-athlete into the transfer portal or otherwise assist or facilitate the student-athlete's transfer to another college or university.
There you go.
So they don't have to put him in the portal.
The only way you can get in the portal is through your own compliance department, by the way.
Right, yeah, they have to do it. That's why
they have to prove it.
That's up to the Wisconsin kid last year, right? Who wanted to be in the portal. Wisconsin wouldn't put him in, and then he unenrolled.
Yeah.
and then went down to Miami and enrolled as just a.
I think Wisconsin filed against him.
They did.
Now, I don't know where they're at. It's not like these things are solved in a day.
Right.
They're probably still pending in that because that was later in the year.
One high-ranking official said this is a very important moment in our space about how we're going to behave.
Yeah.
So
other things matter. When you sign a contract, okay, someone may have offered you a better deal later.
Right.
Shouldn't have signed the first one.
Yeah.
Sometimes one in the car is worth more than two in the bar.
I've not heard it that way. I wonder about that. No, Bob, I got it now. But you know what? It took me a second there. I wondered where you were going with it, but now it makes perfect sense. I've never heard that one before. The one I see now you're trying to make it my last day because there's some kind of joke about the way that the phrase other than that though, the other phrase, if you combine the two, what it could mean.
Sure.
But anyway, Bob, I digress. Who would you blame? Do you blame Washington? Or not Washington? Do you blame Williams? Do you blame LSU if LSU? Because it looks like LSU, in fact, did make an offer.
I don't
to
think
him.
LSU. It's not LSU can make an offer, but you're making an offer to somebody that's already It's already contractually locked up. So I don't blame LSU. I blame Damon Williams' agent
That's who I
and
was
his
gonna-
representation for entertaining this, thinking like, well, we can get more money now.
Right.
And let's go do this. Instead of saying, hey, you put your name on this piece of paper, this is what it is. And there, for example, this happened at Ohio State last year with a guy who ended up playing like a pretty good amount this year. Wasn't a top-line starter.
Okay.
And there was another school, like they had already agreed to a deal, everything like going into the end of the season.
The other school had agreed.
No.
Oh, Ohio State agreed. Okay.
He had agreed to stay at Ohio State, and they had given him a deal.
Okay.
And it was well compensated for what he was going to be doing, what he expected, and I think it was probably appropriate. And he earned all of that this year, and probably he's getting more next year as his role is growing. But there was another Big Ten school that wasn't nearly as good that offered him significantly more. I don't know about 100, maybe let's say like 50% more.
Okay.
And his agent was actually a good dude, and he's like, you already committed to this. We're not entertaining something else. And like talking with some of the people over there, like he was the first guy that we've ever heard that like actually had some sort of honor in this space.
Right.
Where like when you commit to something, you sign to something, like this is what it is. You're not going to go back and say, well, unless you match that, we're going to then leave. He's like, and by the way, do you really want to play at that school?
Yeah.
Because he's like, if you go to them and threaten them and they say no, then you've got to go there.
Yeah.
So understand that that's part of the reality too. Like if you're leaving from Ohio State to go to Purdue because they're offering you more, or Ohio State to go to, I used to say Indiana.
Right, yeah.
Now you'd maybe say Michigan State or somewhere, who knows. But if you're going to somewhere like that, you're prepared to actually leave and walk when they say no.
Right.
It's like that's another part of it too.
Yeah, it is going to see how this gets handled. And, and we've heard Bjork talk about it. You need to have the Power Four conferences need to get together. Oh, yeah. And there's got to be someone in charge with some teeth. They all have to turn the key at the same time and say, we agree to this. And we agree to the penalties.
That was going to be my question, too.
Calling on Captain Planet?
Yes.
Is this the sort of thing that because this is not going to be the only time that this happens. Yeah. Is this the sort of thing where the leaders finally get together and be like, we can't stand this, like this, or not we can't allow this to keep happening. Like
number
at some point,
one,
this is
pushing the portal back to May will, I think, alleviate a little bit of that. But then, number two, it's everybody's got to get on the same page. And people in the SEC are probably saying, well, we don't care. We're still in that until someone comes and does it to them. Yeah. Which is what eventually will happen. Yeah. Everybody complains about the portal and this happening until they're the ones doing it. And so that's the reality is everybody's got to make some concessions and sacrifices of how are we going to operate, because as a society,
I know
it's not exactly appropriate to step to this guy.
Keep blinking your eyes, Bob. What's interesting is Washington, I guess, there was a Big Ten officials meeting already going on, like Big Ten, I don't know, was it the ADs or whatever. There was a conference.
They all called it. They have these calls.
There's one already. It wasn't like it was scheduled for this, but they discussed it there.
This was a main topic.
Yes.
High on the agenda item.
Yes. And I wonder how it would be different or would it be different if it was a Big Ten school that did it to a Big Ten school?
Yeah, because then you can have some penalty within the conference.
That's if it was, say, Wisconsin, for instance, that did this and went after him, would it be, how would it be handled differently? And what would the Big Ten,
the Big Ten would have levers to punish within the like guise of their conference.
Do you think, but after I look at how Big Ten handled the Michigan thing with the cheating, it's like, I don't have any faith.
Well, I think schools will really start to push back on that if you're doing it intra-conference like that.
Because Michigan did screwed every team in the conference.
I understand that.
This right here would not screw every team, but it would screw a couple. It could screw them more down the road if they don't do something.
It's also setting a precedent, like you said, where that you'd be screwing people down the road.
That's the part though that bothers me is that I don't know if I trust the Big Ten would have the teeth to do. I wish they would. And like I say, I hope what Bjork says comes to fruition about the Power Four coming together and all agreeing to these rules. This is how we're going to play. And because we make the most money, look, if we lose a kid to a group of 5 school or something like that, we're not going to do anything about it. But if it's like we're not going to operate that way within our structure.
You don't think Greg Sankey would do that?
Greg Sankey?
If Williams is like, I want to go to LSU, you don't think Sankey will step in and be like, hold on now. The right thing to do is for you to stay at Washington.
I don't know if Sankey would, but that's why they all have to agree to have somebody in charge, though. One person, and maybe it's Sankey, I don't know, but I'd rather have somebody else, and I don't know who it is. I don't have any names to throw out there, but hell, based on the conversations we had, it could be Carpenter or Bill Bender. One of those two guys could run this whole thing, but
They'd get my vote.
Yeah, they get my vote, too. Which would you vote for, Carpenter or Bender? There we go. Now you're on the spot. So you
Can
speak a
we
little
do
comment.
a little president, vice president?
Nope, we're not doing that. We got one.
You don't hurt my feelings, buddy. Don't worry.
I feel like I'd probably vote Carp because I think that could benefit Notre Dame with his relationship with Freeman eventually.
There you go.
That's awfully self-serving.
Hey.
But I would also pick Carp so I have a better chance of riding his coattails more. So we both have our own reasons to go with Carp. Bender likes me more, though. But I think, maybe Carp. I think Bender, well, at least he fakes like he likes me more.
Bill's a nicer guy than I am.
That's what it is, yes. That's good. That's a good way to put it, Bob. I wouldn't say that out loud, but you did. Coming next, Quick Hitters, Morning Juice.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
If you're looking for the inside scoop on the Buckeyes, you've come to the right place. This is Morning Juice.
Gonna warn you, Bodie, ahead of time. This Quick Hitters intro is going to come at you fast and furiously. All right? You don't have time to pause. Let's do Quick Hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Go.
All right, guys. Happy Thursday. I'll sneak this one in here real quick. Wasn't on the show sheet, but I saw it this morning when I got into work. Caleb Downs going to the NFL draft. No surprise, of course, Tito, but heck of a player for his 2 years here at Ohio State after his 1 year at Alabama. And he'll be at least a top 15 pick.
Yeah.
Probably even top 10, maybe. The safety position, slightly devalued, but nevertheless a great player there for Downs.
He's the best one. And Bob, tell me if I'm wrong, 'cause I see this stuff on social media. Did Ohio State spend money on Caleb Downs?
What do you mean?
Wasn't he free? Because people complain Ohio State not spending money on people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, someone said, like, Caleb Downs is coming off the books, so there should be that. I'm like, yeah, but everybody else wanted a little more. But we'll get into all that. Caleb Downs, great player, did a great job. He helped set the culture here at Ohio State. Great young man, relentless worker, smart, composed, like conducted himself like a professional. And it was always fun to be around him and have the conversations that you could with him because he was a very intelligent football mind, studied a lot, watched the game. He said he was a pro, and he did a lot of the success over the last 2 years defensively can be attributed to him. So I wish him the best moving forward. I'm glad he chose to came here from Alabama after the departure of Nick Saban. And so we didn't get him the first time around, but you got him the second. And wish him definitely the best and excited to see where he gets drafted.
I would say top 10, hopefully, for him. I hope he makes top 10.
Definitely number 12 overall.
I know, which I knew you'd say. I knew. And speaking of that, let's keep
Speaking
going.
of,
Yes,
guys, the poor man, he's gone senile at the age of 83. That's when it's all kicked in. At their end of the season press conference, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, flanked by his son Steven and head coach Brian Schottenheimer.
This was beautiful.
Jerry, he's still a dreamer. He told the media, quote, "My goal in life is to retire as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. That's my goal, to be retired in the NFL as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. We've got 3. How many more do I have to go as a single owner? Robert Kraft, he's got how many? 6? So I got some work to do. We got some work to do. But at least I'm up to the second rung in the ladder." Bobby, I kind of feel like maybe we should aim for just getting to the conference championship game, something that hasn't happened since January of 1996. Before Jerry starts worrying about winning not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 more Lombardi trophies.
Listen, would you rather have him be Mike Brown and just like, hey, we're going to run it back, status quo, not really spend money, not try? I mean, he's mixing it up now. He's stirring the pot. Old Jerry is doing everything he can. I love the fact, like, we're putting big, hairy, audacious goals out there. He's going for it.
Bob, when I saw this,
maybe it's been 30 years plus.
Grace,
don't worry about it.
You look at the situation like with the Browns, how they decide they're keeping their GM, the people who made all the decisions on draft day. They're keeping everything status quo except for Stefanski, who's going to get hired by somebody else right away. And I started thinking, if instead of firing coaches, you could fire owners. First of all, you would not fire Jerry Jones.
Well, not the owner. Yeah,
I'm saying the NFL though. Like if you're the NFL though, if you could fire owners. Which I know in some ways you could always legally kick him out if you wanted to. You saw what happened, like depending on what happens, Donald Sterling's incident with the Clippers. I'm saying, but if you could fire owners, though, I would not fire Jerry Jones if I'm a Cow. I would not want him fired if I'm a Cowboys fan. I know they haven't had obviously a Super Bowl in a while.
He spends money.
He spends money, and he aggressively tries to get better.
Yeah.
Some people like Mike Brown might spend money just to say I spent money, and because they're telling you got to spend more money, there's a floor and a ceiling and whatnot you have to probably hit, but. Like, Jones is not somebody, Bobby, regardless of what's happened since 1996.
Yeah.
He is not an owner I would fire.
In the last 20 years, since Parcells got there and they revamped how they did all the scouting and everything, like, they've drafted well.
Sure.
Like, you can look, I mean, their drafts are pretty good. Now, people can argue where they're doing, what they're doing in free agency sometimes, and then, their coaching stuff, but it's not like they're a team that's ever been really void of talent. Like, there's issues in spots where they could get better. Maybe they paid some of the wrong guys.
Right.
But they've drafted well, and then they try to pay the right guys.
Okay, so I said I wouldn't fire Jerry Jones. If you were a Raiders fan, would either of you fire Mark Davis?
No way.
You wouldn't.
No. Where else are you going to find an owner with that haircut?
I know the entertainment. I'm saying as a franchise, though, as a guy who owns the franchise, do you think Raiders fans would vote to fire Mark Davis?
Here's the other thing that he did. He brought in some equity partners. They've got a ton of cash.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, they spent a ton of money. They're paying $50 million to coaches this year who are not coaching.
Right. They got 3
just
head coaches
this year.
And Chip Kelly, 3 head coaches and Chip Kelly doing it with.
They're trying to win, so you can't argue with that.
But I started going through
brought in Tom Brady.
Any other owners I would fire. You know what I mean? Like
Brown.
Brown would, Brown's one for
Bengals
sure.
and Jets, Woody Johnson were probably the first
Haslam,
two.
too.
They can't, that's another one.
I think I fire Haslam.
Haslam spends money.
Yeah, that's true.
But he doesn't. But
is it wisely? Maybe not. But they were aggressive going. If the Deshaun Watson thing worked out, everybody would be all on board. They just picked a guy that had some creepy stuff going on.
Not good at football anymore.
And then got hurt.
Would Titans fans right now you're watching Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Go up to New England and win 14 games.
That's a
You're
good
like,
question.
really?
Yeah.
That's the guy we had to get rid of? Like,
yeah, that's a
He
good.
didn't listen. Mike's a little aggressive. I didn't enjoy him.
he won too much. Some baseball here, guys. How about this? The Oakland A's of Sacramento, they're set to move to Las Vegas ahead of the 2028 Major League Baseball season. But the name Athletics could be on its way out. That's because the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has denied the team's request to trademark the names Las Vegas Athletics and Vegas Athletics. The ball club has 3 months from when the refusals were issued on December 29th to ask for an extension to file a new application within a 6-month period. So they'll still maybe try to keep fighting that. But nevertheless, despite playing in multiple cities over the last 100+ years, the nickname Athletics and, A's that goes along with it there has stuck with the franchise. They were the Philadelphia A's from 1901 to 1954. Then they were the Kansas City A's from 1955 to 1967. And then they've been the Oakland A's from 1968 until 2024. Tito.
Yes, sir.
They come to you, say, what should we be called? The Las Vegas fill in the blank.
Yeah, the fact they said it's too generic, this athletics thing, is why they denied it. I don't know. It seems petty to me. I don't think athletics is... The fact that anytime we think of athletics in sports, other than this being athletic people and athletic things, everyone knows what the A's
think
are.
of the A's.
That's what you think of. And I don't understand why they're doing this. And I don't know. I mean, actually, by the time this all gets settled, it could be the Las Vegas Baseball Club presented by McDonald's or something. It could be a much different name by then, presented by Yeti, something
How about
like that.
let's just lean into it. The Vegas Cabarets or something like that. Yeah.
The Vegas Stripers with 2 P's.
I like that. That was well done out of you.
Thank you.
I mean, you have all kinds.
The Wolfpack.
Showgirls.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you want.
Why not just go Vegas Pimps?
There you go. Lean all into it.
Vegas Johns.
Lean all into it.
Right? Vegas Strips.
The Vegas Strips.
Strips. You could do that right there. With that, you could do all day. Yeah. I don't know. You call yourselves the Oakland A's of Las Vegas. How about that?
That's even better.
Sacramento, Oakland A's of Las Vegas.
Yes, you could do that right there.
Some college football here, guys. Kyle Whittingham has landed probably the biggest fish in the pond that he could. Both kind of transfer portal and recruiting here, at least for this offseason, as rising sophomore quarterback Bryce Underwood announced his decision to stay with Michigan earlier on this week as a true freshman this past season. Or I guess this season, we're still finishing up here. He started all 13 games for the Wolverines. They went 9-4. He had about 2,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 9 picks in the air. On the ground, he had nearly 400 yards and 6 more scores. Carp wouldn't say he lived up to the hype as a true freshman, being the number 1 overall player in his class and whatnot, but nevertheless, a big get and probably a must get for Whittingham. You don't want to see that guy walk out the door. You'd rather try to develop him.
Well, yeah, you want to make sure that he stays, and he played well at times. Like he wasn't bad for a true freshman. I thought he did some good things. Probably need to utilize him a little more in the run game, but if you're Kyle Whittingham, it's better to have this guy than it is to have anybody else at this point. And it's getting late in the portal. They made a decision to try to keep him, and they ultimately did. And good for them, because that was one thing I think people were worried about. Would they be able to keep him on the roster?
Patrick's saying the gamblers or the slots. And then Patrick is saying
some of the O or a U.
The Las Vegas, that's a good one there. Las Vegas dealers and also the Vegas sinners. If you get the San Francisco 49ers, why can't you have the Las Vegas 21ers?
Blackjack.
Yeah, exactly. You can do that as well.
I like all those, to be honest with you.
Those are all pretty good. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Dealers, sinners, gamblers. Good job, Patrick and Troy.
Yes.
Troy's out, or is he Arizona?
Troy's Arizona.
Yeah, so.
It's early.
You know what?
There.
Yeah, first off, dedicated to the show. Thank you, Troy. Second off, I mean, he's a, location proximity.
Yes.
Arizona's pretty close to Vegas, so.
Yeah.
Maybe he should get to choose.
Bryce Underwood, Bobby, you put it well. He wasn't
great, but he was pretty good for a true freshman.
Played like a true freshman. It wasn't a redshirt freshman situation where he had all his time to get acclimated and have some time in before he gets out there. But yeah, I thought that he performed. I thought he got better as the year went on. But yeah, it's important for them to have that continuity there. I know there was talk like he went through and, took all the social media stuff off. What do you call that when they do that? They washed it. He
Scrubbed
the social media, scrubbed Michigan Falls social media stuff. So there was some debate about
that. They had
that
to believe that he was going to leave.
Yes, and so I heard Whittingham talking about him and how important he was to them to make sure he sticks around, because you're right, Bob. Late in the portal like this, it'd have been hard. You have to go out and overpay somebody.
Well, and they paid a lot for him to get there too. Like that's the other thing.
And maybe make an offer to Williams from Washington.
Get him on board. Why not?
Could do that also. Yeah.
Wasn't am I correct in that I saw that Sam, is it Leavitt or Levitt? The Arizona State Levitt. Yeah. Okay, was on a trip hanging out with Lane Kiffin when the Damon Williams stuff came down.
I thought they were going to. I thought that's where he was going to go.
Yeah,
I mean, he's in the portal, and he's arguably. I mean, he was right there with Sorsby as like the top guys. So I'm curious. People were kind of waiting, and he was one of the main dominoes, I think, to fall.
There were a couple of reports out there that Arch made $6.8 million last year at Texas, and Sorsby, the kid who just transferred to Texas Tech,
$5 million.
For $5 million. His $5 million he's going to make this year is more than Shedeur Sanders' entire first contract.
It's the 11th pick in the draft.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
For a year.
Yeah, you're right. I know. Yeah, but he'll make more than Sanders. Like Sanders' entire contract's 4 years, like $4.7 million or something.
Yeah. He's a 5th-round pick.
And he'll make more. And I don't know. I mean, Sorsby looks good, but I don't think he'll make that much in his first year of the NFL when it's all said and done. He gets drafted.
No, I don't think he's a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Did you guys see? I didn't see this till just a couple days ago, even though the game was last week. But what Arch said after the Citrus Bowl win. Yeah. He's like, I love my uncle, but he was a 2-time MVP winner of this game, and I don't really want to be playing in this game again.
Yes, I did see that.
You can't spell citrus without UT.
You're right. That's a good point on that one.
Yeah, as Steve Spurrier also once said, it's a shame about that fire that happened in the library at Auburn. Some of the books hadn't been colored in yet.
What bowls did you play in, Bob? I know Fiesta, obviously. I know
3 Fiestas and an Alamo Bowl.
Okay, I can remember if you had another now. 3 Fiestas. Okay, so I had 3 Fiestas. All right. Coming up next, we will get Albert Breer from Monday Morning Quarterback on, talk to him about everything going on in the NFL, and boy, there's a lot. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're already there for your free consultation. So go check them out today. Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Every great team starts with a playbook, a plan to move the ball down the field and score. Your business, it's no different. Whether you're expanding, hiring, or upgrading equipment, you need a game plan to make every dollar count. And that's why it's important to have an experienced banking team on your side. Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, President of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they help local businesses design their winning playbook.
Thanks, Bobby. That's where Riverside Bank excels in our relationships with our clients. Our commercial banking team helps local businesses design winning strategies, from cash flow management to growth financing, so you're ready for every fourth quarter decision.
It's important to always have a plan and to never leave your business to chance. If you need help, call an audible with the team that knows your success and our success are closely aligned. Look for our new branch location at Bridge Park in 2026.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at mda.org today.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. We'll get our Breer on shortly. What did I miss here? In the chat, Phil says, shame on Tito and Bobby. That was hilarious, Bodie. What did you say? Something we poo-pooed?
I hear everything Bodie says. I usually...
I listened to it twice.
Was it the Spurrier joke?
Might have been Spurrier joke.
The Auburn one?
Yeah.
Oh, the coloring? That's amazing.
That's a good one, yeah. That's a good one.
That was hilarious first time I heard it.
I thought it was pretty good, too. We'll get Breer on here shortly. Lots going on in the NFL right now. And
lots going on in the NBA, too, Tito.
I had heard that... within, I don't know where I heard this, within 45 minutes of announcing Harbaugh was gone, John Harbaugh's agent said like 7 teams had reached out to him.
I saw that too, yeah. I think it was Schefter who...
Schefter said that on, he talked about that later that day on Rothman Ice. And he's like, there's 7 jobs.
But there's 6 open, right?
There's
7
7
being Ravens was 7th one, right?
7 with the Ravens.
Yes.
So that leads you to believe that there's a team that was inquiring that still currently had a head coach.
Right. I wonder who that was.
I'm fairly certain about it, but well, not certain. I would be. There was one coach that I thought might retire now, so that team would have been in the mix, but he is coming back.
You know what, Bowles in Tampa?
Yeah,
Yep.
so Todd Bowles announced he was coming back, so they would have been a possibility. Now, there could be someone else who was looking to depart from their coach on their terms, not on his.
Right, yeah.
Which is a little different.
I also think, if Pittsburgh doesn't play well Monday night, I wouldn't be shocked if Mike Tomlin and them go their separate ways. If the Bills lost, is Sean McDermott looking for a job? I think there's probably a couple playoff teams that I don't know if there's any more past that. But
yeah, I can't.
I think those 2 names are.
Most of the other ones have got young quarterbacks still on the rise.
Yeah.
Whereas Allen and Tomlin, Josh Allen and Rodgers, like you mentioned, though, and the fact that Tomlin and McDermott have been there as long as they have been, that's interesting to me. I don't believe the Chiefs would have been one. Maybe just to gauge interest in case Reed decides he doesn't want to come back, or in case because this is going to be rebuild in Kansas City, right? And I mean, not full teardown rebuild, but
yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, Mahomes got hurt. What was that, mid-December?
Yeah,
I know torn ACLs aren't what they used to be,
right?
But that's still, and I know he's a quarterback, so he could probably come back a little quicker because you don't have to rely on the explosiveness and whatnot. Sure. But he's still going to miss, I would think.
First half of next season,
yeah, like a decent
chunk.
Real? And if you're 3-3,
Mahomes,
yeah, I mean, before he's himself again. Now maybe because he comes back and plays for that, but I'm saying before he's actually Mahomes.
And they're a team that needs him to be Mahomes.
He tore in October, November.
Yeah, I thought it was December.
It was December when he got hurt. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I was saying back October.
Yeah, I mean, September, October. I think he'll be okay. He plays quarterback, so it's a little bit different. And he's getting older. Like, he still moves around a lot. Yeah, they need to get their offensive line a little better and get him some weapons on the outside so he doesn't have to buy time. And you can actually just scheme throws open and guys can win as opposed to relying on him making a great play to get the ball to someone, extending the play where they can get open and buy time.
And see the thing with Rice.
Yes. Jesus, dude. That's feels like he's, they say the NFL's not for long. Feels like he's not for long for the league. Seems like he kind of.
Yeah, after the auto thing, and then now with his ex-girlfriend showing pictures saying didn't say who it was, didn't say it was him, but said he's the father of my children, and we know that he's the father of her children, and seeing the bruising and things like that on her face, yeah, that's that'll be interesting to see what that. Let's we just had it on for a second there. Color bars now. Uh-oh. We'll get Breer out. There he is. Look at that guy.
He's back?
He's back. Back and better
Sorry,
than ever.
I just got in from my just got done running. So
That's good. That's why you're so fit, Albert.
I'm trying in my old age, Bobby.
I'm doing it too,
Doing my best.
Albert. I'm standing up during shows now, so you and I are both making an effort.
I actually thought about doing that, because I don't know, you get older and your energy gets sapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I've thought about for a little while there, I actually replaced my desk chair with an exercise ball. Have you guys ever tried that?
I have not tried that.
Like Dwight Schrute?
So that,
Yeah.
somebody advised me to do that, said it would help my energy if you're sitting on an exercise ball all day, because it's just kind of it's weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anything to get the energy up, I'm all for that.
I thought your X feed, given the Portal combat that's going on around college football, I thought that would get your energy up, Albert.
Yeah, I actually. Can I go on a little bit of a rant here?
Let's hear it. Because you texted me yesterday. I was going to bed at the time, and I was already fired up from fighting off a bunch of trolls all night. So we're going to give you the floor, sir.
Bobby's tweet last night really got me, kind of motivated me here, where he said, if your own kid was good enough to play at OSU, then is he going to have to go to 2 other schools first, right? And then what kind of college experience that is. And, there are a couple of things that I've thought about for, a long time when it comes to this. And one kind of relates to people I grew up with, and the other relates to my job. So the first one is I just think of, people I grew up with that were college athletes that were so successful because they were college athletes, and it had nothing to do with how good they were at their sport. And it had everything to do with the fact that they got plugged into these powerful professional networks that, just funneled them into law firms and onto Wall Street. And, that whole experience of going to college and being an athlete and being plugged into this network. I mean, I have a friend who played lacrosse at Williams up here in Massachusetts, and he showed me once the emails he was getting this summer on there were basically guys who'd played there who were at the big financial firms, Goldman Sachs, Merrill, all of that in New York, who needs an internship, And so I think of what college athletics can do. Bobby, I think you can attest to this, the network you got plugged into playing football at Ohio State. The value in going to a school and spending 4 years there and getting your degree and getting plugged into a professional network, and what I would want for my kids, which most of these guys are not going to the NFL. That's the reality of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think about, now I'm not going to tell anybody to turn down $5 million, but if it's a couple $100,000, that versus what I'm talking about, there's no question what I would take for my kid. You know what I mean? I'd take the degree, and I'd take the ability to be plugged into a professional network that's going to help me for the rest of my life. If I'm going to 4 or 5 different schools, I'm not getting either of those things. I'm not getting the degree, and I'm not getting the professional network, right? So that's number one. Number two, and this is the part for my job, this for a lot of these football players is their last chance to develop. Because I got news for a lot of these kids. The NFL ain't doing that for you. There are probably, I would say, every year, maybe 70, 80, 90 kids who come into the NFL. And again, Bobby, you were in this protected class, but there's maybe the players in the first 3 rounds truly get a chance to develop. The other guys are fighting for jobs nonstop. And you're not being developed in that, you are basically fighting for your professional life every day. And one of the things that I've gotten from covering the NFL, and, that I think I didn't know before, and I'm a huge football fan growing up. I knew everything about the NFL when I was a kid. This is what I wanted to do. And the one thing I couldn't have known before I actually started covering it is how fast those locker rooms turn over. Because when you're in there and you see it, and you see the percentage of that locker room that changes from month to month, from year to year. I mean, 80% of these rosters are in and out and in and out and in and out. And those guys aren't going through the developmental process that like you need to be the best football player you possibly can be. That's only afforded to the very best. So you have to prove yourself very quickly in the NFL to afford yourself the right to get developed, or you have to be drafted high enough where the team's investment is such where they're motivated to develop you. Otherwise, your best chance to do that is in college. And if you're not getting that in college, and then you get to the pros, and because of that, you're not good enough, you're not going to last. So, I mean, I don't know. Bobby, I'd love to hear your opinion on that last part of it, because I just don't think, in the end, look, I think the agents are benefiting off of this. I don't think the schools are benefiting. I don't think the players in the long run are benefiting. Maybe the TV networks are benefiting. But what I'm seeing here is adults grabbing money left and right. And I don't think the players are benefiting from it. And I think it hits the players on the real life end of like, what are you going to be when you're 30 or 40 years old, right? That they don't know that yet, but it's going to hit them at that, like when they're 30, 40, 50 years old. And the ones who are good enough to make it in the NFL, for most of them, it's hitting them too. Because if they're not being properly developed at the college level, because there's not enough time to do that if you're only at a school for 1 year at a time, well, then that's going to affect their ability to succeed as professional football players too.
I agree with you. And I've talked to guys before, even guys that may, Albert, be first-round picks potentially. I call them like 20 to 40 guys, which is kind of where I was, end of the back half of the first, top of the second. And I go, if you can still get better as a football player, especially now where you're going to get compensated pretty well in college, the opportunity to come back and stay another year and continue to improve with a strength coach that knows you, with a position coach that knows you, with a scheme that will benefit you, those things are invaluable, because that does, like to your point, it doesn't happen. I think there's this utopian view of like the NFL when you get there and like they're going to hold your hand and walk you around and we've invested in you, so we want to make you better. Like you said, that's probably only true for about 15 to 20 guys on the roster.
Right. It's like and again, like I would say, so there are probably, I'd say maybe 100 to 150 guys every year who come into the NFL who are guaranteed a roster spot, right? So probably like first, second, third, maybe fourth round. I'm telling you, after that first year, they'll cut a second-round pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, they may not cut a first-round pick, but they'll cut a second-round pick. They'll definitely cut a third-round pick. You might have a little bit more leash, but you better be developed by the time you get there, because they're not gonna sit there and say, well, he went to 4 or 5 different schools, so we're going to leave ourselves a little short at this position out of sympathy for the kid. No, At that point, it's truly a business. It's cutthroat. It's like sink or swim. And, I do think, like in a lot of cases, and I'm not saying this just like as a guy who went to school down the street from where you guys are at. Like I would say this, to a kid at Michigan. I would say this to a kid at Oklahoma, at Texas. Like, if you like where you're at and you think you're getting better as a football player, there's value in that. And it's greater value than going into some unknown, for a couple $100,000 extra dollars. I feel that way. Like, that's the way I would advise my own kid. Now, I'm sympathetic to everybody's situation, and there's financial hardships in some places more so than others. But I just even look at like the way the transfer portal is being used in other sports. Like a good buddy of mine who he's a year ahead of me in high school, and he was a priority walk-on at Ohio State. He was a big part of the reason, he kind of was my conduit to going to Ohio State. And he played a couple of years there. He's a lawyer in Columbus now. And, his daughter played soccer at Oklahoma and was there for 3 years, was a captain, graduated, and then used the transfer portal to go to law school. And so, like, I just look at other sports the way it's being used, and it's like, that's awesome, And I just think you see what's happening in football, and there has to be somebody looking out for the players, and I don't think that's what's happening right now.
So Albert, along those lines, and we've seen what the NCAA has done with college basketball. They've let a player who was drafted in the second round of the NBA draft, though, but come back now and play. They've got a couple of guys played in the G League, actually got paid professional money. And I know they've had guys, European players, that have gone over there and done the same thing. And could the NFL, would they ever consider something like that? Could that happen here? Because like Shedeur Sanders, I contend that, if he would have known he's going to be a 5th-round pick for the Cleveland Browns, if after he gets picked, if he had the option, I think he would have gone back to Colorado and played another year and tried to get his draft stock back up and make NIL. Is something like that a possibility at some point?
Well, isn't that the way it works? I think in hockey.
Hockey has something like that. I think baseball does as well, I believe.
Like hockey, I think you get drafted and go back to school. I think baseball does. I can't remember what the rules are in those sports, but I used to know. But I mean, I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. How would that work as far as holding their rights and everything else? I mean, I think that's possible. I don't think the NFL is ever going to go back to having a minor league because they had that before.
Right.
That was what NFL Europe was, and they decided that was too costly. And I just think they're too bottom line oriented, and they probably won't do it. But what I do think is I do think that they should try. They should have people working on this and helping, the college football, because this is a golden goose for them too. And, they have they get ready-made stars, it helps them, promote the draft. They have more developed players. Like, do you think that the NFL wants to get 18-year-olds? There's a reason why they're so protective of that rule, So if I were the NFL right now, I would have people working with the powers that be at the big conferences to try to get some sort of system in place that'll help remedy all of this. I think it's what's in the best interest of the sport. It's what's in the best interest of the league too. And there was a guy actually at the NFL, Brian Rolap was his name, that had started doing some work with his son had played at Michigan, so he had connections to the college game at the time. And so I know he has started to work with some of the network people that he knew to see if they could get something done. Problem is, then he went to the PGA, so now he runs the PGA. But I think that it would behoove the NFL to get on this, because it's going to mean they're going to get better players, more developed players, and I would say maintain the pipeline that served them for decades and decades.
I don't disagree, and it's a pipeline that they love. Like you said, the ready-made stars that everybody knows. They're not only developed to a certain degree, but they're also very marketable. Through these huge fan bases. That's why the draft is so big in the NFL as opposed to the other sports. Bunch of coaching openings, Albert, in the NFL.
Yep.
I mean, in your opinion, kind of which is the best one, and who is the most widely sought-after candidate out there?
Well, I think those questions would have been hard to answer before Tuesday night. Now I think it's easy, right? I think the clear best opening is Baltimore, and the clear best candidate out there is John Harbaugh.
It's amazing because they were together before, and now they're gone.
Right. Yeah. So, I think until then, I think a lot of people were looking out at the market and saying it was murky and who knows, I think now, you look out there and you're going to have some teams competing for John Harbaugh. And I think, where Harbaugh's landing spot could, affect where Kevin Stefanski lands. Like, does this now mean John Harbaugh is going to New York and Kevin Stefanski is going to Tennessee? Does this mean that Miami is going to look at firing Mike McDaniel all over again? And there's an interesting nuance there in that, Miami had put in for 5 general manager candidates to interview, and all 5 of them had connections to Mike McDaniel on Monday. And then on Tuesday, they put in a request to interview the Chargers assistant GM, Chad Alexander, who, of course, works for Jim Harbaugh. So there's sort of a tell there that the Dolphins may be doing some things behind the scenes. So John Harbaugh's availability really kind of shook everything up. And I think the opening in Baltimore, suddenly becomes the best opening on the market, the one that I think most coaches would love to position themselves for. And it'll be interesting to see what happens there too, because obviously the last time the Ravens were in this position was 18 years ago. And they went way outside the box at the time, and hired John Harbaugh, who at the time was a special teams coach. And after, Josh McDaniels and Jason Garrett had pulled out of that search, you remember, Bobby, me and you were in Dallas together, believe it or not. So Jason Garrett had actually pulled his name out of the Baltimore search, and that helped lead them to John Harbaugh. So do the Ravens again think outside the box, or do they go into kind of their own background, hire maybe a Jesse Minter with the Chargers? Do they hire, a Clint Kubiak? They had Gary Kubiak there about a decade ago. So, Baltimore, I think, would be at the top of the list. And then after that, I think the Giants is a good one. The Falcons, I think, depending on how you feel about their new structure with Matt Ryan, has a chance to be a pretty attractive job. And then, I think the Raiders are interesting just because of all the different dynamics at work.
Albert, I'm curious. 2 questions. Do you have more than one cell phone?
No, I would be a disaster.
Okay.
I don't know how I'd manage that.
I was just trying to think of how your Sunday and Monday went, because I got to believe you were constantly, I don't know if you slept Sunday and Monday.
This is one of the busiest weeks of the year for me. I'm glad I got my workout in, by the way. That makes the day a win. I'd say it's weird because, a lot of people are focused on the playoffs, and the first 3 or 4 days this week, I'm not even thinking about that. Right. You know what I mean? So I haven't really given a ton of thought to the 6 games that we have this weekend. And I'm fired up for the playoffs. I can't wait because it's so wide open this year, and there really isn't a clear favorite. So it should be a blast to watch this all unfold over the next month. But I'm really buried in the coaching stuff the first few days of this week, and generally it levels off a little bit. Like today, the interviews are starting, so the requests are in and those are scheduled, and so it's kind of a juggling act over the next few weeks between the playoffs and the coaching moves. But this is the week here. This right here is the week that's kind of I just got to get myself to Saturday and Sunday.
Do you think Mike Tomlin could still be fired?
I don't think he'll be fired, Bobby.
Or part ways with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't even – I think the Steelers would welcome him back under any circumstance based on where they've been this year and all they've fought through. Do I think that they could wind up having a conversation that leads him going to TV, whether it's this year, next year? Yes. And I just think it's sort of it depends on how the playoffs go, but I think that there's just this natural breaking point coming with the age of Aaron Rodgers and TJ Watt and Jalen Ramsey, and Cam Hayward and all the older guys in that team. Those guys aren't going to be around much longer. And so, when that group of players ages out, there's going to be a natural reset. That's going to happen organically, right? So when you hit that point where you have to reset the roster, that becomes the place where you would have that discussion. Okay, Mike, do you want to be here for a 2 or a 3 year rebuild? And then I think Mike has to ask himself, do I want to do that? Or do I want to maybe do a year of TV and then maybe a year from now I go to a place that has a quarterback in a more ready-made situation and I get to kind of get my second run at it? I think those questions are eventually going to come up. I'm just, depending on how the playoffs go, I'm not sure whether or not it would be this offseason or next.
Albert, I agree with everything you said, except for when you tried to say you would give the same good advice to a Michigan player. I had a problem with that one. Also, the compliment you gave me when I gave my idea, you said it's not the worst idea in the world. That was also nice. I appreciate that. And lastly, look, keep running, but I'm telling you, I've lost almost 5 ounces since standing the last 3 days, so just a tip.
All right, so I just got to be on my feet all day, and then I don't have to run anymore?
Don't have to run anymore. I'm not going to run. I'll tell you that right now. Albert, thanks for the time, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll talk again next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
MMQB's Albert Breer joins us there. Love it. Those segments, Bobby, I know you've known Albert for obviously a long time, and you've had him on, you and Beam had him Morning Juice, obviously, on a regular basis as well. But I think these segments get better and better with him.
Well, I know you enjoy it. So that's why Albert does it. He does it to please you. Jeff, remember that. He's all about the people.
I don't give him the worst ideas in the world, Bob. Is that LinkedIn worthy? Can I put that on there? My LinkedIn page.
I don't have the worst ideas.
Albert Breer.
With all due respect.
Yes, says I don't have the worst ideas in the world.
Yeah. He's really good, though. I mean, nobody's more locked in than anything else. The Pittsburgh idea was interesting, too.
Well, the worst idea I've heard.
Just giving some insight there.
Is that something that people would look at what happened with Rabel? And I know he wasn't necessarily wanting to leave Tennessee, but the way that worked out, you're like, well, shoot. Worked out for him in the end.
Oh, yeah, and maybe there's something like that where, like you said, you take a year off, look at a better situation. And Pittsburgh's a very stable organization, and they have a lot of good stuff. Tennessee, maybe not as much. And there was a lot of friction there with how he wanted to run it, and they didn't want him to consolidate that much power. And it's like, okay, well, see you when I see you.
There you go.
And have fun. We'll see what it looks like without me.
Yeah.
And what happens when I'm somewhere else. And I think those results have kind of – you fired a coach.
Yeah.
I've got the number 2 seed, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the number 2 seed.
You won 3 games. We lost 3 games.
Exactly. So it's just kind of a wild situation to see. But it'll be interesting to see this. And just Albert, he texted me last night. He's like, what's going on with this, the portal stuff? And just trying to give him a little insight into everything because he's on the other side of it in the NFL. And he had very astute points to all of it. And that's coming from a guy in his mid-40s, not someone who's 18, 19, 20 years old.
54.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? The opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation. Riverside Bank of Dublin, they've got the right tools for you and for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin, they've got the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they'll help you reach your goals. They got great folks over there. I've worked with them for a number of years and a number of times. Whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're going to go from east to west next, folks. Look, Albert Breer just got in a run to start his day. This guy hasn't been to bed yet. We'll get Ya Highness out. NFL picks next. Morning Juice.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here. And I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, Morning Juice. Let's do some NFL picks. Then we'll get. You'll hear our picks. I know we're going to do our picks. We'll pick a couple of college games too. We'll do that, and then we'll bring on the star of the show. We'll do this now.
Morning Juice presents NFL Picks.
Sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, trips to a first-round postseason game, and more. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Yeah, we collectively, Bobby, decided to add a couple extra games on this one. I'm not sure why we did that, but we did it. You have your own theories. But
125, 141, and 6. The 6 on the tie, I think I had a stroke there for half a second. I was trying to count up the numbers. Anyway, Fiesta Bowl tonight. We'll start with the 2 college games and then go on to the NFL playoffs. Fiesta Bowl tonight. Winner heads to the national championship game. Miami, Florida, favored by 3.5 against the Ole Miss Rebels, Bob.
I think if Ole Miss can run the ball, they can wear down that defensive line in Miami. That's really good. Ohio State started doing in the second half. They just a holding penalty got them in the third or fourth, maybe then the middle, early third, fourth quarter there. Give me the points. I think Ole Miss wins this thing.
I just want to see Michael Irvin get another win and do this. Give me 3. I'll lay the 3.5, and I want to see Irvin and Ray Lewis, and I don't know who else about the sideline out there.
Okay, same spread on Friday night. Indiana is favored by 3.5 over the Oregon Ducks, Tito.
Give me Oregon. I keep saying I believe in Indiana, and then my heart won't let me do it. So give me Oregon.
You're a moron.
I know. It's fine. It rhymes with Oregon. That's fine.
That's good. Dude, lay the points.
All right. Guys on our opposite sides for both games. Okay, on to the Saturday NFL wild card round playoff games here. LA Rams on the road against the Carolina Panthers. Bobby, LA is favored by 10.5.
That's a lot.
It's a huge number to play.
That's a lot. I mean, considering they already beat them in Carolina, I'm gonna give me those points. I think LA wins, but that's too much.
I think the Rams blow them out. I think that I believe too much in the Rams and Stafford, their coaching staff. I know they got beat out there, but this is the playoffs. This is different. Give me the Rams and Stafford.
This is some throwaway game up in Rochester. Who are we playing, Matthew? All right, guys, this line surprised me a little bit, Tito. Packers favored by 1.5 on the road against the Bears.
This one's moved around quite a bit, and I think the Bears were favored for a while. Now the Packers are. Give me the Packers, and I'll lay the points.
I'm going to lay the points for the Packers, too. I think Green Bay wins this thing outright.
Okay, another 1.5 spread here. Buffalo's on the road against Jacksonville. Bills are favored in this one, Bobby, by that 1.5.
I'm going to lay the points. I like the Bills. I know some people think that Jacksonville's going to win, but I think the Bills, I think this might be their year to make the run.
I think so, too. Yeah, he likes the Bills.
Lay the points. Okay. You guys both on Buffalo. All right, San Francisco's on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly's favored by 4.5, Tito.
Oh, man. I think it'll be a closer game than this. I look at like a 3-point kind of game. I will take the points. I'm not sure who's going to win, but I like the 49ers getting points.
Okay.
Yeah, give me the points on that. I like the Niners to win that outright, to tell you the truth.
All right, on to, those were Saturday games, right? Nope, actually that last one there was Sunday afternoon, Niners-Eagles. Sunday night, Chargers are in New England against the Pats. Tito, Patriots favored by 3.5.
Close game. Give me the Chargers. I'll take the hook. If it were 2.5, I would go the other way, but I'll take the Chargers getting the hook.
Lay the points.
All right. And last game, Monday night. Tito in the house. Texans favored by 3 on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Carp.
Oh, gosh. I want to see Aaron get it done.
There is
I think the Texans are better. I'm going to lay the points, but in my heart, I hope the Steelers win.
Me being in the house is worth 1.5 at least, so give me the Steelers. I'll take the Steelers in this one.
All right.
Let's bring them on. Ya Highness joins us now. WeWinYouWin.com. Did any of those picks by either Carp or I make you cringe?
Just the one. I'll get to that in a second. But I just want to say happy New Year to everybody in the 614. Stop freaking out. This is college football. Good guys are going to leave. Good guys are going to come in. The sky's not falling in Columbus just because a couple skilled players hit the transfer portal. Pump the brakes there. You're still going to be a top 5 team at the beginning of next year. I wish I could have it so good as Buckeye fans. You start freaking out when a couple of players transfer. Welcome to 2026, folks. This is college football as much as I hate it. By the way, NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. What does that have to do with giving a kid $5 million to come play at Texas Tech?
So you want to see his face in a helmet in Jersey.
Yeah, this started off because of a video game that I love, by the way, the NCAA video game. That's how it all started. And now we got these multimillionaire boosters just lining these kids' pockets. It's a shame to see what's come to. But anyways, the Panthers at home getting 10.5 points, I think, is where the only mistake you guys made was they are a playoff team. I know they're not sexy, but 10.5 points at home for a team that's going to go all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, I think they don't win, but I think they cover the Panthers. So that's the only thing that really kind of gave me pause. I like the 49ers, and I know they don't play this week, but I have a futures bet out there. I call it the Mile High Parlay. We took the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Denver Nuggets all to win their respective championships. $25 pays $12,000. So let's get high on the Mile High this year. So, yeah, I'm pulling for the Broncos to win it all. But there we go.
So
we got some college football.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. Yeah, about college football. I was curious how you view the college football games.
So betting-wise, these lines are pretty sharp, kind of like the Super Bowl. There gets to be so much action coming in that if the original line is not correct, the market will correct itself. So I think the spreads are pretty much spot on. About 3.5 is what you see them at most places. Miami's the better team. Indiana's the better team, but that doesn't necessarily mean they win. I think in the first game, Miami versus Ole Miss, it really comes down to Miami's defense. I don't think the kid, Chambliss, I'm probably not saying this right, the quarterback at Ole Miss, Chambliss, thank you. He's a free spirit, right? Running and gunning, making those great plays. What was it against Georgia? He did that like backhanded, like scrambling toss to the kid. That's not going to fly against Miami. Miami's defense, and people might be shocked, is significantly better than Georgia's defense. So I think Ole Miss struggles to move the ball. I think they really struggle in the first half. 24.5 points is the over-under of the first half. That's something to look at. My official play will be under 52.5 points. I have this game coming in closer to 46.5. I don't like a side as far as the spread. I think Miami wins outright. In the second game, Indiana is the best team, and it's not even close. If I look at numbers from the last 3 years, this Indiana team compared to last year's Ohio State team or 2 years ago's Michigan's team are actually statistically better. And I know that Hoosiers name, that red, that does not resonate with us diehard football fans, as this is a powerhouse. But welcome to 2026, folks, where teams overnight can become dominant. So watch out for a team like Virginia Tech with James Franklin. You start pumping a bunch of money in that program, they can come out of nowhere. Start looking for some of these schools that turn the program in overnight because, again, college is ridiculous, and we can drop $30, $40, $50 million on a college football roster. It's nuts.
Looking forward then, like with let's do this. Tell me about your Super Bowl Squares contest. Let's do that.
Yeah, they just went on sale, and I won't pump it too hard because we're still a month out, but they are available. This is going to go to benefit the Jax Sports Foundation, and this is actually close to me because my best friend is the president of this nonprofit there in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where I went to college, for those that don't know. And what they do is something real special. They collect money or raise money, and then they go around to Duval County, which is there in Jacksonville, and they pay for the athletic activities of the underprivileged youth. So basically, your lower income. But yeah, because sports become expensive, especially before you get to high school and you got to pay out of pocket for all these different volleyball and cheerleading and football and wrestling and soccer and everything else. And when mom and dad are working 2 or 3 jobs just to try to put food on the table, sometimes an extra $500 or $600 to have the kid playing a sport is an issue. So my best friend from college, Sean Sharp, give him a shout out down in Jacksonville, Florida, is the president of Jax Boosters, and they go around and help these kids. So that's what we're raising money for this go around. But it's $60 for a square, pretty standard. $600 if you hit the square. The square to the north, south, east, and west. So the 4 sides will also win. And then the reverse. So if, let's say, the square is 7-3, 3-7 would also win. We do have a side pot called Battleship for another $600 you can win. And I did this for the people that always bitch about having is that a bad word? I don't know.
Battle, no.
Bleep me there, baby. Sorry, I think that's my first curse word. But we do Battleship because everybody complains about having terrible squares. So this time the row and column that hits gets removed, and all the non-hit columns will be the battle. You know how Battleship works, and all those people left over will split $600. So if you have a terrible square, you still got a chance to win money.
There you go. And how can they find out about all this and what else is going on with you?
Yeah, WeWinYouWin.com. That's where you can find everything. What's going on with me, man? I haven't even you put this thing out on the internet or on the airwaves that I don't sleep, and I don't. But I do sleep before I come on the show. I get about 2 or 3 hours in, and I come here. I look myself in the mirror, Tito. I slap myself around a few times, and I said, let's go shake the cage there in Columbus. But yeah, that would be my message for the listeners. Stop freaking out over the transfer portal. Trust me, the pendulum will come swinging back in your way. You'll be fine. Take a deep breath. Take the under in the Miami Ole Miss game. Enjoy the Oregon-Indiana game because I'm telling you, I think that game comes down to like a last possession type thing. I think that's going to be a really great game. Panthers covered at 10.5. The Niners are going to show people that the Eagles aren't that for real. I think the Niners are coming for real this weekend. And don't sleep on the Steelers. I think Mike Tomlin might have been saved from his job, but I think you still got to win this first round to keep his head clear. So I think the Steelers come out ready to rock and roll. They're the last game of the last game of the playoffs this week. So,
if
guys,
Buffalo, if Buffalo and the Chargers both win and the Steelers win, the Steelers host a divisional game after that.
Yeah, that's we'll see. By the way, is it weird or in Albert Breer? I wish I could have talked to him because this is a question I had for a real NFL insider. Could Harbaugh, the fired Harbaugh, go to LA Chargers and be like a special assistant throughout the playoffs for his brother? Or is that not allowed?
I don't know, Bob. You know the answer to that or not?
Oh, goodness. I'm sure he could show up on the sideline. I mean, he's not employed by anybody.
I mean, can they – yeah, I mean, could they hire him like temporarily?
Why do they need to hire him?
Just like have him out there. Just
have him out. Like, listen, his brother controls who's around the facility. You think that someone's going to say leave?
Right.
True.
He can do whatever he wants. So they don't need to technically hire him. They can just get him a sideline pass and let him come in the facility and watch film and help him out.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured maybe him helping film, help prep. Obviously he's seen a lot of these teams that they're going to face in the playoffs. Another extra eyeballs and a good set of head on the shoulders I think could help. But I didn't know what the rules were in the league. But my and I don't have the insider that Albert has, but the little grumblings I'm hearing is that maybe the Miami Dolphins might be the landing spot for Harbaugh. So. Anyways, guys, what else you got for me? I didn't come with a whole lot of information. We got 2 college football games that I'm like lasered in on right now.
I was going to ask you happy with what Michigan's doing, their football team? I know you're a Michigan guy. You happy with what's going on there with the program?
Yes. And I know I did mention Kyle Willingham a little bit, I think around the Christmas Eve show, that was a guy that they should target. And then 2 days later, they hired him. It's the right hire because they need a right to ship. They need a clean house. They need that authoritative guy with great reputation. Everybody I've heard speak about Kyle Willingham is great. Now, he has this affection for Urban Meyer, which is not leaving great taste in a lot of people's mouth. But obviously, those two coached a lot of time there at Utah together. But I like it. I think it's a great direction. I don't see him being the coach at Michigan for more than maybe 3 or 4 years. I think this is a short bridge to get us to the next coach. But I think maybe he slides into the AD role after he's done coaching at Michigan. Manual guy, he's got to go. Manuel Ward or whatever his name is, the AD at Michigan, he's got to go. I'm not a fan of him. I think he let this get a little willy-nilly there, kind of let things get out of hand, kind of turn an eye to some of the issues. How he still has a job, I'm a little surprised. He's a smooth talker, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, 3 or 4 years, we'll have a younger coach come in. Hopefully somebody that can be the coach for the next 20 years or something like that, because obviously Kyle's probably not going to be the coach for the next 20 years.
Pimp the podcast.
Yeah, go over to that YouTube thing. They got the little @ symbol, shut up and bet. We are doing our $100 to $1 million challenge. So far, we're down $100. it's early in the year, folks. We'll get there. Yeah, I keep running into these college basketball teams that shoot like 32% from three on the year, and then when I bet against them, they shoot 65% from three. So I've been running into a little bit of a buzzsaw on the college basketball here. But Brody's laughing. Laugh when I got the $1 million in the bank, son.
Hey, I'm not.
Anyways,
I'm not against it.
Look, this is, and for those that don't know, basically we start with $100 and we do kind of semi-presses. It takes basically, I think it's like 12 or 13 bets we got to win in a row, but we turn $100 into $1 million. Laugh now. It's January, 7 or 8? I got like 360 more days to do this, so we'll get it done, folks. Just stick with me. You'll be all right.
You're the man. Thanks, guys. We'll talk again next week, buddy.
Yeah, go Canes. I think the Canes and the Hoosiers. And by the way, the Oregon Hoosier game, that's the real national championship. Those are the two best teams left. All right, I'm out. Peace.
You're the best. That was Your Highness there. Coming next, we'll wrap things up. Tell you who's got us juice. Morning juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're ready there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be a son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. Thanks, Breer. Thanks to the chat. Was wonderful as well. Thanks to Your Highness. As always, Albert Breer. I love the fact, Bobby, that we go from Breer to Your Highness.
Pretty hard right turn.
It is. That's what I'm saying. I think it truly is.
Well, Your Highness wanted to talk to Breer.
He did.
Bridging the gap. People helping people.
Should I give Your Highness Breer's phone number?
I don't think so.
Okay, we can talk about it off the air.
When I give you someone's phone number
like
that, you never give that to anyone else.
I know. I wouldn't do that.
If it is, I'll have to go Smash your phone.
You would not smash my phone.
I would. If you
would get mad at me.
I would smash your phone.
You would take my phone and smash it.
I would smash it. That's completely disrespectful.
Thank God I got a burner phone.
That's fine. Your burner phone probably doesn't have his number.
Trade Breer's number. I got Breer's number tattooed on the small of my back. Let's tell people what's got us.
How do you
juiced.
see that?
What's got you juiced?
Oh.
Does Heather read that to you?
I'm not going to talk about it.
A real pet.
I'm not. Nope.
Does she go by Peggy sometimes?
You're right. Your Highness is the one who was out of line today. That was the one.
Told me to tell your grandma hi.
I'm sure he did. What we got Thursday? Let's hear what Schlegs has to say.
Yeah, I wear black all the time because my wife says I look good in it. That's why I do it. I don't know if it makes you look thinner. I don't want to look thin. I want to look gas station ready and swole with a thick cylinder.
I think black does make you look thinner.
A thick cylinder.
As far as I know. What has me juiced today, guys? Certainly Albert Breer. That was fantastic. Yes. I was pretty on board with basically everything he said about the portal. I enjoyed that passionate speech that he gave us there. So that had me juiced up. What also has me juiced? Pretty fired up about the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days worth of football here. Kidding. It's a pretty good stretch, man. I think both semifinal games are going to be strong, and then we'll probably get a couple duds in the NFL playoffs, but I think most of the games will be pretty good. So pretty fired up to watch a whole bunch of football for the next 5 days here, and mostly not get off the couch both Saturday and Sunday in particular. What else has me juiced? It's Thursday. That's great. I will tell you guys, this is the first, assuming I work tomorrow, which you never know. I mean, who knows if
you just said you were off the couch on Friday or Saturday. Sunday.
Yeah, I should have said Saturday, Sunday. But this will be the first full week of work I've had, and probably since about Halloween. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's wearing me down a little
bummer.
bit. It's sleep.
These 5-day work weeks.
Take tomorrow off. Take tomorrow off.
See you guys Monday. But the lack of sleep, I kind of forgot what it was like. I started to get used to it. Then I had all the PTO that I had to get burned up, and I was like, "Yep, this is what it's like." Once you hit about Wednesday, Thursday range, it starts to kind of smack you in the face a good bit there. So that all has me juiced. Juiced about the fact that the Tennessee Titans are. I should have brought this up yesterday because I think I saw it a couple days ago. But apparently they are interviewing Jason Garrett.
Yes,
sure. Why not, man?
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's a win for me and the Notre Dame football fan base because I'd like to see somebody else be the color commentator for their home games on NBC. But nevertheless, that's a side nugget for you there, Bob. Why has you juice, sir?
Bring back Jason Garrett.
Not getting him out of the booth.
Get out of the booth. Yeah. Not necessarily bring back, but more of a get rid of.
That's a transfer portal subtraction that I would be in favor of.
Bring him back to Dallas.
I don't.
Is that where you want him to leave?
Maybe he can coach the defense.
There you go. Why not? Gosh, what's got me juiced? Last night I was up till about 10, not even 10, probably 9:40 until about 11:30 on my phone.
Oh, that's
battling an ex. I had my own battle of Portal Combat, and you can just answer it. That's much easier on my computer because I can type much faster on there than I can on my phone. But just to watch as I just break down everybody's argument is like, well, this is the problem. This is the problem. Why is this? This season sucked. We didn't accomplish anything. But you said all we wanted to do is beat Michigan. Why can't we pay everybody? I thought we were the richest. Well, show me who these people are, or we don't have any. OSU has billions of dollars. Well, the money doesn't come from the school, dude. Like they make more money than everyone else. We also have 36 varsity sports. So if you want to start deconstructing that, go ahead. There's answers to every question. I'm telling you right now. You want answers? I'll give them. People are like,
you can't handle
the truth. Someone that was like, "What? We would like to know how the Learfield deal is going to work and all that." I go, "Why would you think you're entitled to all of that?"
Because I'm born a Buckeye, Bob.
Yeah, that doesn't. Okay, you know what?
Damn, what you think you are.
Then give $1 million. I'll give $100,000.
Hey, if this thing works with Your Highness, I might give $1 million. Then 100 to $1 million.
Then you know what? Then you'll get an avenue to vehicle to be able to talk to people. But that's how it works in this world. Listen, other schools have people that are really, really wealthy, and you know what? They really care about sports, and they want to just say, "Hey, what does it take to be good?" It's not Ross Bjork and Mark Pantoni withholding money. Bodie had the greatest. I brought that. He goes, for what? I'm like, exactly. You don't think that they want to? You think they're hoarding this in a quarter? Like, we're not going to pay these guys, or the money ball approach as if they're the Oakland A's. Like, are you kidding me? You kidding me? You can't pay your fourth corner your first corner money because you're paying your first corner that. So someone else who has cash will come in and offer them that. That's just the reality of it. And that guy is probably going to leave. And we can sit here and talk about playing for Ohio State and all this and all those other things, and that's all great. And listen, I don't disagree with any of it. But I'm just telling you, nobody that I've talked to, especially here, that is not willing, that doesn't have the funds to be able to give that. If I said, hey, if someone's going to double your pay and pay you $800,000 from $400,000 or whatever, are you going to take that? Well, what about culture? Are you going to take it? Yeah, I'd probably, exactly, especially at 20 years old. And someone was like, I'm 35, I care less. That's fine, and you might. These guys don't.
Yeah.
So what do you want me to tell you? I don't have an answer for you here. It's just what it is. So it's.
Did you consider at any point going a little Wolf of Wall Street with the kids, waking them up, giving them a script, and having them all also get on Twitter to fight people, you know? Like if somebody says this,
my kids are way too old for Twitter. They're too old for Twitter.
They've aged out of Twitter. Is it TikTok?
Yeah,
hey, listen,
Coach. They're barely on Instagram. It's like
Finsta.
barely. No, dude. They're mostly TikTok and all that crap.
Listen, they could fight the fight on any social media app. I'm sure there's people on TikTok too saying.
But the same folks that yelled at me that said beating Michigan that is all that matters said this year was a failure. I'm like, it's interesting because you're number one most of the season and you beat Michigan.
By
and
then
we'll just change the goal, move the goalposts of what's important. And it's like Ryan Day said, what's the goal at Ohio State? Win every game, especially your last one. And there you go.
Bob, I usually you don't ask a question unless you already know the answer. And I think I know the answer to this one. Did either of you come up with the requested word of the year for yourselves?
Oh, shoot.
No.
I know you didn't. I knew it.
Honestly, I would have if I had remembered, but I do not remember.
I'm going to show empathy towards both of you.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I'm going to do. That's my gift to you is to show empathy there. Bob, I know you've got a bunch of different health contraptions at your house.
What does that mean?
Would you say
workout fitness equipment?
Workout fitness, body monitoring things. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
Okay.
The body monitoring things are on me. That's how they can monitor.
That's what. Okay, that's where we're going with this. Was there something on your body last night during that time monitoring your heart rate when you were going back and forth with people on Twitter?
Yeah. I mean, I never really checked it, but I'm curious to see.
I wonder.
I had my watch off, but my Oura Ring probably did. I don't think my heart rate wasn't up doing that.
Oura Ring, right? AURA?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure you're ORAL. That would be a little different ring there, I think. Oura Ring. Okay. Anyway, that's it for today's show, folks. Thanks for tuning in. The chat was lively as always. Appreciate all of you. Hey, we'll see if I'm back tomorrow. Depends if the email and the Teams thing gets taken care of or not. We will find out.